Top 10 most expensive paintings in the world. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hey there, Aluxers. Welcome back to another video. We're glad to have your company today. As you're here watching an Alux video, I think we can safely assume that you're interested in the finer things in life. We are only interested in giving our viewers facts and insights into the biggest and best things in life, and something that's always fascinated society's elite has definitely been fine art and its possessions. The greatness of art in general is that there's such a diverse and varied spectrum of works, with everyone having their own favorite artist or artistic period that they think rules supreme over the rest. People are so passionate about collecting art that it's no surprise original pieces by some of the world's most iconic masters have been sold at auctions for astronomical prices. Though there are paintings like Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, a near-priceless piece that will likely never be put on sale, through the years many high-profile works of art have exchanged hands in the auction room for more money than you could ever imagine. If you're new here, welcome! Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Without further ado, here is our list of the 10 most expensive paintings ever to be sold at auction. And just so you know, we're marking our figures to adjusted prices to make this list as accurate as possible. Number 10. Masterpiece by Roy Lichtenstein, $165 million. Kicking off our list of insanely expensive paintings is Roy Lichtenstein's masterpiece. Created in 1962, the piece is an iconic work of pop art featuring Lichtenstein's signature Ben Day dots and a speech balloon, and is celebrated for its quirky narrative content that accurately predicted the artist's rise to fame. For years, Masterpiece hung over the mantle of American philanthropist Agnes Grunn's New York City apartment, but in January 2017, she made the incredibly selfless decision to sell the painting and donate the proceeds to starting a criminal justice reform fund called Art for Justice. The sale was completed privately, and Masterpiece was bought by American hedge fund manager Stephen A. Cohen for $165 million. Number 9. Number 5, 1948, by Jackson Pollock, $166.3 million. Making his first appearance on this list at number 2 is Jackson Pollock with the 1948 work Number 5, 1948. A true work of abstract expressionist genius from the master of the form, Pollock's Number 5 oil painting was under the ownership of American business magnate David Geffen for many years until 2006, when it was sold in a private sale that evoked much speculation among art lovers. Though the identity of the painting's new owner is not a matter of public record, many people believe it to be Mexican investor David Martinez, who seemingly paid $166.3 million for the privilege. Geffen's motive for selling the masterpiece was to raise funds for his bid to buy the Los Angeles Times. Number 8. Nu Couché by Amedeo Modigliani, $172.2 million. Taking the 8th slot on this list is Nu Couché by Italian painter Amedeo Modigliani, an oil canvas created in 1917 that is one of the artist's most widely exhibited and reproduced works. Now a part of a private collection, the painting was brought to auction at Christie's, New York in November 2015, where it was purchased by Chinese businessman Liu Yuqin for a staggering $172.2 million. The prominence and importance of this painting can be seen in the lot notes for Christie's auction, which state that Modigliani's group of nudes resulted in a reaffirming and reinvigorating of the nude model as a presence in modern art. High praise indeed. Number 7. Les Femmes d'Alger, Version O, by Pablo Picasso, $181.2 million. Up next is a painting by a man known the world over, the one and only Pablo Picasso. Painted in 1955, Picasso's Version O of Les Femmes d'Alger is without a doubt the most famous of this particular series. In 1997, it was purchased for an undisclosed fee by British art dealer Libby Howie on behalf of an anonymous Saudi Arabian London-based collector. Version O arrived at auction for a second time in May 2015 at Christie's, New York, where it was expected to set a new world record, and that expectation was met when the Qatari Prime Minister Hamad bin Jassim bin Jaber Al Thani paid $181.2 million for ownership, the highest price ever paid at auction for an artwork at that time. Number 6. Pendant Portraits of Martien Sulmans and Uapian Capet by Rembrandt, $182 million. In a case of bang for your buck, number 6 on our list is actually for a pair of artworks by Dutch master Rembrandt, actually his 1634 pendant portraits of Martien Suilmans and Wapien Coppet. This pair of full-length wedding portraits were painted separately, but have been kept together ever since their completion, and were sold in a private sale by Eric de Rothschild in September 2015. In an unusual turn of events, the paintings were bought for $182 million in a joint venture by the Louvre in Paris and the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. The two institutions are experimenting with a shared ownership system, in which the paintings will be shown in both regularly and also sent out on art tours. Before we head into the top 5 on our list, how about checking out our fun video of the 10 most expensive pieces of art that we think a child could have made? Click in the top right-hand corner for the cheeky video. Number 5. Number 6. Violent Green and Red by Mark Rothko, $188 million. Just squeaking into our top 5 is number 6, Violent Green and Red, a 1951 oil painting by Russian-American abstract expressionist Mark Rothko. The painting is seen as a quintessential example of that particular period in Rothko's career, with large expanses of color, hazy shades, and faded separated lines. Yet, in another private sale in August of 2014, the painting was bought by Russian businessman Dmitry Rybololev for 140 million euros, the equivalent of a staggering $188 million. Number 4. Number 17A by Jackson Pollock, $202 million. It's time to say hello again to our friend Jackson Pollock. With this 1948 masterpiece, number 17A, Pollock has the distinction among his peers of being the only artist to have 2 artworks in the most expensive auction top 10, a truly amazing feat. If you've never even heard of Jackson Pollock, we can guarantee that you will have at least seen images of this iconic painting before, and you might have heard of him referred to as Jack the Dripper for his distinctive style. For years, this painting was in the possession of David Geffen, the man who you remembered also owned Pollock's number 5, 1948. In 2015, however, number 17A was sold privately by the David Geffen Foundation to the American hedge fund manager Kenneth C. Griffin for an eye-watering $202 million. Take note of Mr. Griffin's name. He might be making an appearance later on in this list. Number 3. Ne fais pas à propos, When Will You Marry by Paul Gauguin, $212 million. Number 3 on this increasingly expensive list goes to Paul Gauguin's 1892 painting Ne fais pas à propos, When Will You Marry? Gauguin's mastery of the French post-impressionist movement made his very best works infinitely valuable, and this came to fruition when, in February 2015, Ne fais pas à propos was sold privately on behalf of the family of Swiss businessman Rudolf Stechlin. The lucky owner of this masterpiece was Sheikha Al-Mayasa bint Hamad Al-Thani, a member of Qatari royalty and a known art lover, who paid $212 million to be able to call the painting her own. Number 2. The Card Players by Paul Cézanne, $266 million. Just missing out of the top spot is Paul Cézanne's 1893 masterpiece, The Card Players. Painted in the latter years of Cézanne's career, The Card Players is actually a series of similar oil paintings that vary in size, setting, and number of visible players, the most prolific of which was bought by the Qatari royal family. Anyone starting to sense a theme here? In 2011, for the extraordinary sum of $266 million. This sale was arranged by Greek shipping magnate George Mbirikos, who had been the painting's previous owner. The Card Players series, featuring many of the original pieces, have repeatedly been featured in museum tours around the world, but this particular privately owned piece is always represented by a replacement print. Number 1. Interchange by Willem de Kooning, $303 million. Here it is, the moment you've been waiting for. The most expensive painting ever sold at auction, by far, is Interchange by Willem de Kooning. The Dutch-American master's 1955 oil painting is a defining work in abstract expressionism, and in a transaction that feels very similar to anyone who has watched the entirety of this video, the painting was sold in September 2015 by the David Geffen Foundation for a phenomenal $303 million to, yep, you guessed it, Mr. Kenneth C. Griffin. This astronomical purchase means that Griffin is the proud owner of not one, but 2 of the most expensive paintings in the world. What an unbelievable claim to fame! Happy to share his love of art with the world, Griffin has arranged for the paintings to be on loan at the Art Institute of Chicago since the record-breaking sale. So there you have a detailed rundown of the 10 most expensive paintings that have ever been sold at auction. Are you an art lover yourself? Which of the paintings would you most like to have hanging on your wall? Let us know down in the comments. And now, how about one final art fact as a thank you for sticking with us right to the end of the video? Did you know that out of the 70 biggest selling pieces of artwork ever, Pablo Picasso is the most frequent contributor? Picasso makes no less than 13 appearances on the list, with his sold pieces adding up to a sensational value of $1.3 billion. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.